cheat code you discovered in real life that actually works. Story 1. Compliment people. Not every time you see them, but every once in a while, be sincere about it. They will be happy, and they will be nicer to you, and you will be happier as well. Story 2. I'm a bouncer at a club. People give a lot of attitude. When I don't let them in cause they forgot their ID or it's expired, I just started being like, yeah, man, I totally get it. But that guy, I point to a random patron near the door inside the club, works for the liquor board. He's doing a sting on me right now, and he's watching everything I do like a hawk. His partner could have a fake, an expired ID, no ID at 99.99 of the time. It immediately diffuses the situation while eliminating the nobody is going to know excuse, and the person leaves without a hassle. Story 3. Asking people to do an extra step before you do something for them greatly reduces unnecessary requests. Example, yeah, it'll resend you that file you can't find. Can you please tell me the date I sent it to you so I can find the email? They have to search for the email and find the file themselves in the process. Works great with lazy coworkers or students. Story 4. When you have tradespeople to your house to do a job, remember that they're people too and be hospitable. I asked our plumber if he wanted coffee or a Danish since I had some, and he didn't charge me the $500 to rot out a drain. He thanked me and said people don't always remember we're people too. I offered muffins I was going to toss to our building intercom repair guys, and they gave me a 10% discount. I'm not saying you should expect these things, just that people appreciate consideration and will sometimes reciprocate. Story 5. For any nonviolent conflict, treat the problem as the enemy. The other people in a conflict are your greatest allies in destroying your enemy. So many people are terrible communicators, and when you can actually facilitate these things, it makes everyone feel much better and issues actually get solved in a respectful way. Story 6. When you need stubborn little kids to do something, it's cold outside. Put on your coat. Please, do you want to put on your unicorn coat or your flowers coat? The illusion of choice does wonders. Story 7. Start taking your seasonal allergy meds at least 1 month before you actually need them. Thank you, random stranger, who told me that over 10 years ago. Haven't had a bad season since. Story 8. You'd be surprised what people will do for you if you just ask. My mom was really big on you won't get what you don't ask for, so I grew up with a lot of practice just asking for what I wanted. When I took this to the real world, people were always shocked at how just asking for something nicely can get you exactly that. Story 9. Thankful people. Get more invites, more gifts, more everything. Take that 5 seconds and thank that friend for inviting you over or for helping out with XYZ. 5 seconds of effort. Story 10. Lower the resistance to the things you want to do. Want to study for 15 minutes? Tell yourself you'll do just 1 minute. Then at the 1 minute mark, decide if you want to keep going. Chances are you will. Inertia is a powerful thing. Use it to your advantage. Story 11. Not sure if this is a cheat code really, but we'll share regardless. Whenever my anxiety starts getting the better of me, you're at your job, I do this thing which I call gathering evidence. Taking the job example. I will say, has your manager given you any feedback which supports this concept? Do people at work trust your judgment? Do your workmate test clients, customers respect you? And so on. Generally, the evidence will outweigh or disprove any thoughts that my anxiety is pushing onto me, and that definitely helps to reduce it. Story 12. If you're looking at something like a hotel or a flight, call them directly. For example, usually what I'll do is look on Expedia or Kayak and see a room for 100 night. They'll call the hotel directly. Listen, I found a promo for a room 100 night. I'd rather give the money to you than them. Is there anything you can do more often than that? If you're kind and understanding and lucky, they'll apply some discount code or promo code. The last few hotels I've stayed gave me state government rates with free upgrades. It pays to be nice. Edit. All right, everyone that's messaging me telling me it doesn't work, you can stop. It doesn't work every time. Just sometimes you can see people in the comments agreeing or listing their own success. In truth, if you're reaching out and being like those messaging me and not surprised it's not working. Story 13. Promotion within many organizations is so much more about who you know than demonstration of competence. Competence never hurts unless someone feels threatened, but recognize that you have to make friends with the right people to climb. Call it schmoozing if you want, but you got to recognize that we are relational creatures. We are all biased by relationships, and a little rapport can go a long way. Story 14. Ask bartenders how they're doing, and actually listen to their answer. People always complain to them about their days, but not a lot of people actually care about how bartenders are doing. I get so many free drinks this way. Story 15. Not having kids puts life on easy mode. Edit because it's 12 hours later, and I'm still getting messages about this. Kids are not a replacement for a nursing home. You can't have kids just so you'll have someone to take care of you when you're older. A lot of people with kids die alone in nursing homes. Having a kid doesn't guarantee you'll have your own personal buddy in old age. They'll have their own life, Go make some friends so you're not bugging your kid every time you're lonely. Story 16. Give restaurant food apps random dates for your birthday. Do you really want 37 different free appetizers or desserts on your real birthday? Spread them out throughout the year. It's always your birthday somewhere. Edit. Since everybody is asking about showing ID, I only recommend this for the more casual app-based rewards programs where the B-Day is solely used for the annual promotional offer. They don't require ID and usually don't even ask for the year. I hope it goes without saying that you shouldn't do this for anything where your real identity is important, travel programs, etc. Story 17. Doing it badly is an option. Whatever it is, look how many managers there are in workplaces all over. Go for that promotion. You could be a manager earning 44 too. Floor dirty, clean it badly, better than not at all. Dog need a walk, but you're tired. A bad walk is better than none. Secret of starting Kung Fu. Consider being it at first. Story 18. Use a VPN, Firefox, and private browsing when shopping for an expensive item or service from large companies. A lot of times you'll get a much better deal. Story 19. Walking weight loss. You seriously don't need to go to the gym. You just need to move a lot more. If you want to lose weight, you don't need pills or injections. Diet and exercise. Eat less calories and walk an hour a day. If you walk for an hour at a decent pace, you could do 8,000 steps. That is enough for slow, gradual weight loss. If you want to burn more fat, work up to doubling that. If you walk 16,000 steps a day and don't overeat, you will lose weight. Also, sleep. I never used to sleep a full 8 hours, but now that I do, I snack less and feel better. Lots of fitness coaches say sleep is a non-negotiable. It's when your body does maintenance. I got a Samsung watch in January, and the accountability of having it track my sleep and weight and exercise is helping turn my life around. Whatever you look like, you look better when you're not carrying extra fat. Whatever you feel like, you feel better when you get enough sleep. Story 20. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't go to for advice. Criticism from people you trust is super valuable, but you can cut off the mental swirl and anxiety by considering the source. If you wouldn't seek a person out for advice, why should you trust negative remarks from them? Story 21. Selective caring. My stress levels have seen insane improvement over the past 6 years simply because I decided to not give any energy to mainly the internet and social media. Now my focus is on my immediate family and our personal goals. I have no idea what my extended family is doing every day. I don't see every one of their little opinions about every tiny thing, and I have never been happier. It works in everyday interactions, too. I have a coworker who likes to start going off on the latest right-wing conspiracy every week, but he quit bringing it up to me, because I just say, I don't care. You got that project I sent you. Literally, just focusing my energy on things I actually have control over has been so freeing. Story 22. Being good to strangers, especially retail workers. Treat them as humans. With empathy, you'd be surprised how many times in life you'll get hooked up. Story 23. The moment you're A to someone trying to help you is the moment they stop trying to help you. I worked in customer service for almost a decade. If you're nice to me, it'll move mountains for you. If you're you'll get there's nothing else I can do. Story 24. One I found on Reddit years ago and totally worked for me. The few times I've tried bring presents for flight attendants, cookies, candy, gift cards for where you work, etc. They're in service and get no tips, but also work a very thankless job. Plan ahead a little bit and just bring something they can all share. ITLL, make it the best flight you could have. Food, booze, open seat in a better area of the plane. Whatever they could do for you, they will. Tell them you have a friend who's a flight attendant, and that's why you started doing it. Fly will be a better experience, I promise you. Even if none of the above happens, you'll still have done a nice thing for people who don't get thanked enough. Story 25. Got invited to something you don't want to do or can't do. Don't offer an explanation as to why you can't go. Just sorry, can't make it. If you give an explanation, it can be argued with, you got to take care of your kids. Oh, can't you hire a sitter? Oh, you jai another thing, you can reschedule that. Can't you know is a complete sentence. Story 26. Fake it till you make it. I was making 6 figures without a college degree. Confidence can really take you many places in life. This is coming from someone with social anxiety. You really need to get in the headspace of pretending you're someone else, i.e., the person you want to be. Story 27. People think I'm this tech whiz. I do have a bit of knowledge when it comes to tech. When I have a problem that is new to me, with a PC, for example, I Google it. Odds are great that I'm not the first person to have this issue. This applies to car problems, house issues, etc. Story 28. I try to be nice to people and sometimes try to make them laugh. I don't do it for free things or discounts, but occasionally ITLL result in a small discount or a free drink, donut, or something else small. I like making people laugh, especially people who have to deal with customers all day. They put up with enough BS, and they enjoy a few chuckles to break up the monotony and stuff. Story 29. Having a good reputation at work will let you get away with being a not great employee and new job go above and beyond for the first month. Do anything asked of you at max effort and right away. Do stupid tasks that nobody else wants to do. Be early and stay late within reason, like 10 minutes and never ever about anything. After that month, everybody will think you are a star employee. The bar is typically pretty low, TBH, and from then on, even if you kind of slack off or something up, everybody will still think you're great since that's how they've defined you in their head. Story 30, don't bring a problem to the table. Bring a solution. It tends to be received a lot better, especially when the problem is your fault. Hey, I noticed XYZ, and I thought we could ABC to help mitigate that. Does that sound good? Sound a whole lot better than XYZ is an issue. Story 31, take notes on everything on the personalities of people at work and things they've told you about themselves, on the steps of the project you're doing with your significant other, on vet-in or doctor visits, on the books you read, on how your exercise or mental health, or whatever journey is going. Taking notes trains you to be more observant and ask more questions about what you're doing, which means you pay more attention and do it better, even when you can't remember something. If you say, hang on, let me check my notes, it's as good as if you had remembered, and people treat you like you're a lifesaver. They're the reason the field notes motto is I'm not writing it down to remember it later, I'm writing it down to remember it now. Story 32, mirroring, reflecting. Repeat and rephrase what people say. Works like magic in my office. I'm a doc. God damn it, I've been waiting for an hour for transportation to show up. You've been waiting for an hour for transportation, yes. And those incompetent idiots haven't even called me. They haven't called you. Okay, let's see if we can work the problem. What company is it? XYZ. They always do this to me. XYZ always does this to you. Let's call them and see if we can find out what's wrong. 99% of the time I can get the situation defused. Story 33, when driving somewhere with multiple vehicles, I like to be the vehicle in front. I ask the other driver, should I lead? Or do you want to follow? Nobody's caught on yet. Story 34, having a quick and easy smoothie for breakfast led to unintentional weight loss. I usually just had coffee for breakfast, then by lunchtime I'd be starving and I'd overeat. The perfect breakfast smoothie is fast and easy, with minimal cleanup. Story 35, if physically possible, lift weights. No, you won't look like a mass monster after touching a weight for the first time. No, you won't injure yourself as long as you learn how to do it safely and correctly. No, no one in the gym is judging you or staring at you, and even if they were instead, if you remain consistent, you will get stronger and be more capable when handling daily, routine tasks. Strength training has been shown to reduce depression, increase longevity and QL, and boost overall confidence. Make it a part of your daily routine and reap those benefits. Story 36, there are a lot of things that to many seem like a cheat code. One type of cheat code I use is called, just ask tell people what's up, and it will be totally fine 99.99999 of the time. A lot of people processes count on you not asking, speaking up, etc. Oh man, I remember you from so, and I'm just garbage on names. What was it again? Tells a name, thank you, I'm awful with that. What are you up to lately if you happen to recall a last name? Hit him with Johnson, right? Why am I spacing on the first name? Appear much more like a temporary forgetfulness as opposed to having no idea who they are. Or like when I was at the dealership buying my car. Okay, thank you so much for explaining that. But you mentioned policy and then previously noted this thing about policy. Can you break it down like in 5 and jot down the final whatever the question was? I didn't give a how long it took or how dumb I looked. Edit my GF, quiet, passive, will never speak up, was trying to get a follow-up DR appointment after a big cardiac event that needed prompt evaluation. I had to lay groundwork to get the nurses to call her back even, but they gave her an appointment almost 3 weeks out. I prodded her while on the phone to confirm this was their earliest appointment and tell them you really need to be seen. One moment, we can get you in next week Tuesday. Just simply asked, didn't demand anything, didn't change her tone, just asked, and she could be seen 2 weeks earlier. Story 37, pre-shredded cheese is convenient, but the anti-clumping powder makes it hard to get a smooth cheese sauce. Pretty much every recipe recommends you grate your own cheese, but seriously, it's an extra step and cleaning a grater is a pain in the butt. Use sliced cheese. It's usually the same price as brick cheese, doesn't have the powder, and you can easily tear it by hand into small pieces that melt easy. At the deli counter, you can also buy exactly the right amount of different types of cheeses if you're doing a blend. Story 38, if you're not a motorhead, you can still fix some things on your vehicle with YouTube videos. I tore apart my console the other day to fix a shifter problem and save myself $600. Of course, it took me 5 times as long as it was supposed to, but I have more time and money. Oh. Story 39, kissing. Be the person who complains about work all the time and everything is stupid. It will always be a thankless grind for you. Be the person who hypes up stuff that they or other people did well. Even if it's small, they throw money at you. Story 40, when moving through a crowd of people at night. especially at a festival or at a club. Bring a small flashlight and hold it like a cop, with your arm up and in front of you, with the light pointed down. I've noticed people naturally move aside from it, often thinking it's security. It's a really quick way to move through people that usually gives you lots of space and minimal resistance. Story 41, manners. May I? Please, thank you. No, thank you. My pleasure, you're welcome. Hello. Goodbye. Manners translates to empathy. Manners imply consideration and respect. Story 42, don't know if works is the right word, unless having peace of mind is valuable. People think about you way less than you imagine. Nobody remembers or probably even noticed that embarrassing thing you said, or that your socks are slightly different shades of black, or that your hair was kind of off one day. Story 43, quick and healthy breakfast. Set the coffee maker the night before to finish brewing when your alarm goes off. In one large cup, add a couple of ice cubes, then coffee to get it slightly cooled, prevents clumping. Add 1 scoop of whatever flavored protein powder you like and stir. Mine is Isopure Vanilla and makes the coffee taste like something expensive from Starbucks. It is 25 g protein, is almost instantly ready, and costs about $1.50 to $2 per day. I feel full for 4 to 6 hours on this alone. Story 44, if you can't fall asleep, just close your eyes and relax your eyeballs and kind of let them start moving around quickly as if you're in REM sleep. I swear this kickstarts the sleep process, and pretty soon you're actually asleep. Sometimes your brain is kind of awake and asleep at the same time, but you're lightly paralyzed and can only move if you really try, basically waking yourself up fully. Story 45, rubber ducking my company is 100 remote after COVID, and seemed like more often than not when my dev team would Zoom with someone to figure out a problem, we would figure out the answer while explaining the issue, so it felt like we were wasting someone else's time. So we each have rubber ducks on our desk to talk through the problem with, and if we still can't figure it out, we reach out to another developer. Story 46, if I need to get rid of something big that doesn't get any interest on OfferUp style apps and sites, and nobody picks it up from the street, I take down a free sign and put a new sign on it with an artificial dollar amount. Every single time, I've done this 6 times now, someone always steals it, thinking that they're actually stealing it from me. I've done it with 2 cracked tubs, 2 couches, a big screen TV, and a refrigerator every time the things were sitting outside for days or weeks, but after adding a fake dollar amount, they were all gone within hours. I got rid of all those things for free instead of paying to have them hauled away or renting a U-Haul to take them to Goodwill or the dump. It's kind of depressing how well it works. Story 47, respect, starts with what you wear. Put on a cheap dark blue cotton sport jacket, blazer, no liner, and your experiences with service will become top-notch. Even over a t-shirt and jeans. It's insane how people change their attitudes, I think, because they expect to be respected by you. A hoodie is the opposite effect. Too many trashy people and teenagers wear sloppy clothes out now, and they don't really have social respect. So when you dress like them, you'll be treated like they get treated. There's no judgment. I wear a hoodie almost every day and never shoes nicer than some sneakers. But if I'm going out to dinner at a restaurant, they'll throw a blue blazer over my hoodie, and all of a sudden I look like someone important or rich, and it get me places, instant tables, flight upgrades, or if you complain about something, it's taken really seriously. Story 48, deleted all social media apart from Reddit. Realized I don't really give a what people I went to school with are putting on Facebook, what rubbish is trending on TikTok, or what fake Instagram posts people put out to fake their perfect lives. I've become much happier with myself, and more content just not being made to feel like for not keeping up with trends or wasting life scrolling through rubbish. I also barely pay any attention to anything on any news channels out sites because it's all negative and designed to make you anxious and worried all the time. My mental health has vastly improved, as has all relationships with the people that I care about. Story 49, when you have people over. Clean your place just shy of spotless, so you can gesture toward that 1 sweater slung in the chair or the 3 cups in the sink and go, OMG, I'm sorry the house is such a wreck. Voila. Everyone thinks you're naturally tidy. Of course, your real friends know the truth. Story 50, if you ever forget your password, but it is stored as on a web page, select it, open the inspector, and change the type from password to text in the HTML. Story 51, I showed up to a bar with a deck of cards. The bartender would comp drinks when I did tricks. Other customers would buy me drinks, then likely teach me a trick. The new trick would likely give me a drink from the next person. Story 52, I don't have time to read all the comments, but after making it through at least 80, I didn't see these, so they'll share a couple tips I learned while in college. 1. When asking for help, particularly on something that people don't really want to go the extra mile to help you with something, or to provide solutions that take more work, for example, asking about getting into a full class, or alternatives to bad lab times. Or even when facing a college rejection letter, ask, what options are there? Not, are there any options? Oftentimes, it's super easy to say no when it's a viable answer, even if it's not necessarily correct. Asking what options are there to do X, being specific enough without boxing yourself, and puts the other person in the spot to actually think about the problem and possible workarounds. It won't always work, but sometimes it does. Helped a buddy get past a rejection letter to university using this method. 2. Rules, deadlines, and barriers should often, not always. Don't be a dummy and miss government deadlines or things that other people have to take seriously. Be viewed as potential roadblocks that let you prove you want something. They're not always dead ends. Read the last lecture by Randy Posh. It's life-changing if you're young and need some general guidance in life. Again, use common sense when trying to apply this rule. YMMV. I got into grad school by talking to the right people and asking the right questions. Each time I got hit with a roadblock, my GPA was garbage. I asked people who said, know who I should talk to and what options were available to overcome these barriers. If they are arbitrary, generally speaking, there are usually some built-in loopholes or flexibilities that can be accessed if you prove it's worth their time to show you how. Story 53. Be the person who starts things. Is the buffet fully stocked with the lids off and everyone is standing around waiting to be told it's okay to start serving themselves? Be the one to grab a plate and start the line moving. Story 54. If you're looking for a job, go to a job board website and write your own job listing for a made-up company. List it for the role you yourself ideally want to have. Then all of your competition will send you their resumes and portfolios, and you can tailor yours to be better than theirs. Story 55. I was a grocery cashier dealing with who wanted me to ring up just one last order real fast when I was supposed to be closing my line. Apparently, if you tell people sorry when they put up the small, plastic, freestanding close sign, it signals the computer to shut down after the current transaction. I can't override it. They believe you, like all of them. Story 56. Love your body, no matter what it looks like. You don't need cosmetic surgery. You don't need hair plugs. You don't need perfect teeth. You don't need to look like you were for CrossFit. You don't need to cover yourself in expensive labels. You will save so much money from various industries that profit from self-hatred, and your presence in the world will help weaken the narratives they try to push. Story 57. Get your wife to decide on a place to eat. Babe, I'm taking you to eat to that place you have been wanting to go to. Guess. Wherever she says you go, win. Story 58. Ask questions. One, especially when you're talking to people. Ask them what they do. Ask them what they like. Ask them how they are. It's the best, easiest way to make friends and have people like you. 2. Always ask when you don't know the answer or how to do something. It's easy to be nervous about not knowing something and appearing weak, stupid. But asking actually makes you seem smarter because it's the fastest way to solving the problem. Story 59. Sometimes people don't call big companies because they think their voice won't matter. This is especially true with sports teams. This probably wouldn't hold true with the Lakers or the Knicks, but I have spoken to the last 4 general managers of my local NFL team enough that I'm on a first-name basis with them because I just called, entered their number on the directory listing, and left a message. They quickly called back, listened to my concerns, and we talked. And we continue to talk, and they have all given me their personal cell phone numbers, and I regularly interact with them about team-related things that are important to me as a fan, and they value my feedback. Story 60. Alignment. If there is something you want to change about yourself, align it with your identity. Action is the end result of a long chain. Thoughts precede action, but identity is several layers deeper. For example, not drinking. An alcoholic trying to quit has to contend with the thought, should I drink right now? That thought doesn't cross a non-drinker's mind. It's not part of their identity. Create distance between the old you and the new you. I don't drink is different from him trying to quit. Do what a non-alcoholic does until your mind-body internalizes that identity. For example, not keeping alcohol in the house is an obvious start. You want to go to the gym regularly. The average person will try to set this goal for themselves, but be on and off and struggle to keep it. This mental battle doesn't exist in the avid gym-goer's mind. Lifting is just something they do regularly, like showering or brushing their teeth, so much so that it would feel weird not to do because they're lifters. This is part of their identity. This is a matter of alignment, not discipline. Discipline is like grease in the engine, but it is not the main driver for people who excel at something. Take the same dedicated gym-goer and ask them to do the dishes more often, and many of them will hold it off. Everything has objectively hard things they have no trouble doing and objectively easy things they struggle with. Look at gamers. Some people sink thousands of hours into a video game and get super good at it. Even though video games require a lot of mental energy, people get addicted to them. This is by design. Video games are aligned with our reward systems and locks people in the flow state where they can be completely immersed in the task. Even though they require a lot of energy, they are addictive, even fun. And that is the key. If you want to excel at anything, make it part of your identity and align that task with your reward systems. If you want to get rid of a negative trait, remove it from your identity, reduce friction for good habits, and increase friction for bad habits. Figure out your goals and what makes you tick, and treat them like problems in a video game. Alignment brings you a lot farther than brute force. Imagine a cart on a track. If you push it perpendicular to the track, it won't budge. If you push it at a slanted angle, it will move but be hard. You can choose to increase the amount of force, but it'd be easier to just push it directly in the direction of the track. This is the difference between discipline and alignment. Through this lens, building lasting habits and character traits is not a matter of doing, but rather of becoming. I wanted to share the theory on this, but there's plenty of resources online for concrete strategies. TLDR, your life is a video game. Think critically how to build your character. Story 61, I learned this dealing with university bureaucracy. Ask for things in person. It's really easy to ignore or say no to an email. It's way harder to say no to someone's face. It's annoying waiting in their office, but it's more likely to be successful. Story 62, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Save yourself 3 hours on any group project. They have the passionate idea. You have what? Just figure out what you can do for their crazy idea and get it done. Story 63, always have something to say in a meeting. Spend 5 minutes before the meeting working through the likely agenda and just prep a one-line comment or prep a question. Doesn't have to be about you. Just on topic and when the time is right. Make your comment and bingo. People will think of you in a good light. Keeps you attentive too as you wait for the best moment to deliver your line. Story 64, a great set of cheat codes are the military lessons. 1. Attention to detail. 2. Whatever it takes. 3. Better you than me. 4. If the minimum wasn't good enough, it wouldn't be the minimum. 5. Anything can happen to anybody at any time, even the president. 6. What goes around comes around. 7. Grab, twist, step, stomp. Story 65. Once you're used to it, you really don't miss breakfast when your career offers you a sedentary work environment. It really helps keep the weight off when you trim out an extra 400 calories from not eating breakfast. Call it intermittent fasting. Call it being lazy. Either way, it's helped me a lot with fighting off that middle-aged male weight gain. Story 66, if you whisper to a screaming, crying toddler, they will often quiet down to hear what you have to say. If you throw in some barely audible words like ice cream or Happy Meal, you will get their attention very quickly. Story 67, this is incredibly specific, but when painting customized action figures, I pretty much exclusively use Sharp Creative markers over regular brush paint with primer or airspray paint. They go on fantastically, a nice, smooth matte finish, doesn't chip easily, dries quickly, and the brush tips at a fine point, and are flexible, so it's easier to get into tight spots and crevices. The only one I don't like is red because it dries in a fairly light shade rather than a deep red shade I prefer. But if you've ever thought about painting figures or small objects and don't want to deal with primer or proper paint, grab the 20 multi-pack of Sharp Creative markers from Walmart. They're so good. Story 68, sit on the bed before you take off your slippers. That way they're pointed the correct direction when you wake up at 3 a.m. to have with your mom's new boyfriend. Story 69, learn how to issue a proper apology and learn how to accept a properly delivered apology and move on. It will greatly simplify your life. For reference, a proper apology consists of 3 key parts. 1. Acknowledge that you did the thing that wronged the other person. 2. Convey that you understand the negative impact that it had on them. 3. Explain what you have done or will be doing to mitigate the risk of committing such an error or offense in the future. Story 70, whenever I am lazing around and procrastinating to get to work, I use the 123 method, which instantly breaks my lazy flow. And get to work, just say 3, 2, 1, and on 1 get up without thinking anything and just go. Story 71, being polite and treating others with respect and dignity makes just about any interaction super pleasant and helpful. I get so much free insights into why things are the way they are and have such a great day afterwards. My wife is always astonished with how much I can get for free and how many times people go above and beyond to help me out. I just smile, respect others, and treat them like they're a caring, living, loving person, even if they don't deserve it. Being polite and firm makes life just super easy. Story 72, years ago, an old man told me a story that in his younger years, he bartended at a club that had a pretty rowdy crowd. He said that when he'd have a couple of intoxicated dudes getting confrontational and about to throw punches, he'd add syrup of ipecac, the stuff you give to someone who's ingested poison to throw up to one of their drinks. According to him, they forget all about fighting and start throwing up their toes. I passed this story on to a girlfriend whose husband had a serious alcohol problem and would become abusive. After a couple of weeks of doing this, the guy was afraid he had stomach cancer or something, and he quit drinking altogether. Story 73, place chicken bones and other stinky things in a grocery bag in your freezer. Don't take out until garbage day. Your garbage will never stink. We don't have babies or dogs. No, in the freezer. Story 74, check on top of vending machines for spare change. There is a semi-secret society in the U.S., myself included, who leaves spare change from vending machines on top of vending machines for future visits and or other customer in very take a penny leave a penny fashion. Story 75, I stopped paying for Amazon Prime last year. I order things here and there, and it usually says 5 to 10 days for delivery. I still get packages within 1 to 2 days. I guess the bots at Amazon get bored and dispatch my items anyways. Story 76, I've said this one before. If you're so depressed you cannot get out of bed, do one thing. Wash one dish, put one piece of clothing in a hamper, do one load of laundry. Even if you don't have the willpower to fold the laundry, the next day, do 2 things. Then 3, it will start to snowball and your living space will look better. You will feel better about yourself over time. Not to say this will cure your depression. It's more of a triage situation.